We move to the second speaker, Sheikh Mohammedullah, a research scholar from Hamdard University. He's going to talk about printed and manuscript Fatawa collections of Mughal India with a special reference to the Tawali' al-Anwar of Sheikh Abid al-Sindi al-Madani. فليتفضل مشكورا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله كفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى. So my paper is printed in manuscript of the collections of Mughal India, and that is with special reference to Tawali' al-Anwar, the Sharh and commentary of Ad-Durr al-Mukhtar by Sheikh Abid al-Sindi. Before we go to the details of the Fatawa collections, let me have a brief survey of the Muslims' arrival in India. The Muslim role in India can be divided into the following categories, into four categories. The first, starting from the era of Caliphate to the Arab governors in Sindh, that is in 856 AD. And the second phase of Muslims' arrival in India was started in the period of Ghaznavids in northern India, that is, they started in 1004 and it remained till 1186. The third phase was started by the rulers of Delhi Sultanate, that in 1206 and remained till 1526. And then lastly were the Mughals from 1526 to 1857. During Delhi Sultanate period, several dynasties ruled in India, and the first three dynasties, I mean Mamluk dynasty, Khiljis and Tughlaqs, all were originally of Turkey, or originally from Turkey, Turkish origin, and they led the Muslim rule in India. The period of Delhi Sultanate was the bright era of Indian history, which witnessed revolutionary changes in education, sciences, architecture, fine arts, administration, etc. The Islamic sciences, especially the fiqh, flourished and expanded during Delhi Sultanate period. Fiqh had central position among all Islamic sciences, and being a scholar of fiqh was the zenith of scholarship in their period. They established madrasas and sponsored ulama, qadis and scholars of fiqh, who therefore were encouraged to produce fiqhi works on like Fatawa al-Qiyasiyya, Fawaid al-Shahi, Fatawa Karakhani, besides other works. However, the Mughal Empire was the last The Mughal Empire was the last as well as the most powerful Muslim ruling dynasties of the Indian subcontinent. It contributed greatly to the Indian culture, civilization, art, architecture and literature, as well as Islamic sciences. The Mughal rule in India can be divided into two major periods, the era of Great Mughals and the puppet Mughal emperors that lasted to 1857. Islamic fiqh in India. It is to be noted that the dominant majority of Muslims in India from earlier centuries followed the Sunni creed, and the majority of them have always adhered to the Hanafi school of fiqh. However, there were some pockets of Muslims following the Shafi'i school also at many places in India, but there was no considerable existence of other followers of Maliki and Hanbali schools. The judicial and administrative system of Delhi Sultanate as well as the Mughal Empire was based on Hanafi school of fiqh. Fiqh literature during Mughal rule. The Muslim Jewish and scholars of Mughal period contributed immensely to the rich heritage of Islamic fiqh in India. They produced several hundred books, Fiqhi literature varying from fatwa collections, Fiqhi issues, principles of the and judicial system, and marginal notes on famous Fiqhi texts. In fact, the scholars of India have written more books in Islamic jurisprudence than scholars of other countries. Some of these books, which survived the acid test of time and are available in published and manuscript form in the libraries of Khuda Bakhsh Library, Patna, Asiatic Society of Bengal, India Office London, Raza Library of Rampur, Maulana Azad Library, Aligarh Muslim University, and Darul Deoband. So now proceed to the main topic, main fatwa collections of Mughal India. The scholars of Mughal era have contributed greatly in the field of fatwa collections. Most prominently during the era of Emperor Aurangzeb, we find an abundant scholarly activity, especially with regard to Islamic jurisprudence. The most important Fiqhi asset of the period is the notable compendium of Fatawa Alamgiri, which was prepared under the direct supervision of the Empıre by a team of scholars. But we find traces of several other fatwa collections throughout the Mughal era in Persian and in Arabic, most of whom lay dust-ridden in the shelf of libraries. Here we shall survey 10 of these fatwa collections in brief, and only 2 of them are printed and published, and the rest 8 are in manuscript form. So we begin with Fatawa. First, Fatawa Babri is in Persian and manuscript. Fatawa Babri is a compilation of Hanafi fiqh in Persian by Nuruddin Qutubuddin al-Khawafi around 1520. It was dedicated to Zahiruddin Muhammad Baba, the founder of Mughal rule in India, as the book was written on his behest. This work is not published. It is preserved as manuscript in Oriental Library, that is Khuda Bakhsh Library of Patna, and in a personal library in Burhanpur, India. It contains 626 pages and comprises 5 books and kitabs, ending at chapter of Hajj. The second is Fatawa Aminiya in Persian. Fatawa Aminiya is a compendium of Hanafi fiqh compiled by Sheikh Amin ibn Ubaidullah Mominabadi in Persian language around 1541 during Humayun's reign, the second ruler of Mughals. This manuscript copy of Fatawa Aminiya is available in 4 libraries of India and Pakistan. It contains 410 pages. The list of contents starts from Kitab al-Tahara and ends at Kitab al-Wasaya. The number of kitab is 50. Then the third collection is Fatawa Brahana in Persian language, its manuscript. Fatawa Brahana is a compendium of Muslim theology and law of the Hanafi school, compiled in Persian by Nasiruddin Binai, Lahori, in 1588. The author is politically surnamed as Binai. He was a prominent Hanafi jurist who flourished during 10th century after Hijrah. The work is preserved in several libraries of India, and the copies of the manuscript are preserved in the library of Darul Uloom, Deoband, Oriental Library of Patna, Asiatic Society of Bengal, and the maximum page number of the work is 614. The fourth fatwa collection is Al-Fatawa al-Naqshbandiyya. It's a very useful composition on Hanafi jurisprudence in Arabic by Sheikh Mu'inuddin Muhammad ibn Khawaja Muhammad al-Naqshbandi. The author dedicated this work to the Emperor Aurangzeb. Sheikh Mu'inuddin al-Naqshbandi is a prominent scholar of fiqh and a prominent Sufi from Kashmir. He was born in Kashmir and acquired education in Delhi. Besides being a spiritual leader of Kashmir, he contributed other academic works as well, like Kanz Saada and Rizwani. This work of Fatawa Naqshbandiyya is preserved as manuscript in Oriental Library of Patna, Asiatic Society of Bengal, and Raza Library of Rampur. The maximum pages of the work are 1062. The fifth fatwa collection is Fatawa Majma'ul Barakat. It is in Arabic and it's a collection of fatwas of Hanafi fiqh written in Arabic by Sheikh Abdul Barakat ibn Husamuddin Dehlavi during the reign of Emperor Aurangzeb. At first it was entitled Ajaibul Barakat, and some others call it Jami'ul Barakat. This work was composed in Delhi and dedicated to the Emperor Aurangzeb. The author served as Mufti and Qazi in Delhi and compiled it around 1704. The manuscripts of this work are available in Oriental Library at Patna, Raza Library of Rampur, Asiatic Society of Bengal, and Askia Library of Hyderabad. The book consists of 754 pages and 50 chapters, which are divided in subtitles. The author has quoted more than 32 books of Hanafi books and mentioned the rulings of such in detail. The sixth collection is Muqtasal Fatawa Ash-Shafi. Muqtasal Ash-Shafi is compilation of Hanafi ruling in Arabic by Qazi Abdul Hamid ibn Abdullah Khatwi in 1668 in Delhi. He was appointed as Qazi and revenue officer of Gujarat during the reign of Shah Alam ibn Aurangzeb, and later on he was promoted as Qazi al-Qadha. The rare copy of this manuscript is preserved in Maulana Azad's Library of Aligarh under Subhanallah collection, and the copy consists of 297 folios written in Nas script. Then the seventh fatwa collection is Fatawa Siraj al-Munir. It is another manuscript in Hanafi compiled by Mufti Tabi' Muhammad ibn Muhammad Sa'id Lakhnavi in 1707, who served as Grand Mufti of Lucknow. Two copies of this work are preserved in Darul Uloom Deoband Library. The other copies of the work are in Maulana Azad's Library of Aligarh and in Nazatul Ulama of Lucknow. The maximum pages of the work are 340. This book especially deals with the fiqh rulings very concisely and has a good collection of fiqh issues from authentic books of Hanafi fiqh. In this book, he mentions his other fatwa compilation with the title of Al-Fatawa Al-Kabir, which according to him is very extensive and elaborate on Hanafi fiqh, but there is no record whether this book is available anywhere or not. Then the eighth fatwa collection is Fatawa Azizi. This one is published in Persian language by Shah Abdul Aziz Muhaddis al-Dehlavi in the last Mughal era. This is a collection of important and selected 347 fatwas of Hanafi fiqh. Shah Abdul Aziz, the son of Shah Walillah, is very much renowned scholar of Hadith, fiqh, Islamic sciences in India. Fatawa Azizi is published and several manuscript copies of this is available in different libraries of India. Now we come to Fatawa Alamgiri. This has been discussed by Brother Faisal Ahmed. The most prominent contribution of Mughal era to fiqh is the commissioning of the manual of fiqh, which came to be known as Fatawa Alamgiri. It is comprehensive compendium of legal text of Hanafi fiqh compiled under the direct supervision of the Emperor Aurangzeb by a team of learned scholars. Fatawa Alamgiri was compiled by a team of ulama who were supervised by Sheikh Nizam Burhanpuri. Let me brief it, and then I will come to the main reference of my paper, Tawal Anwar. This is an Arabic manuscript and it's very much important and it's not published yet. This paper especially studies the Tawal Anwar, Sharaf Abdul Mukhtar by Allama Abid Sindhi, who died in 1841. It is the most elaborate work on the commentary of the famous Hanafi textbook Ad-Durrul Mukhtar. and one of the comprehensive and great work on Hanafi. This work is still not published and is preserved in several libraries of the world as manuscript. It consists of nearly 20,000 pages, and if published after due reading, it may appear in around 50 volumes. Sheikh Muhammad Abid ibn Ahmad Ali ibn Muhammad Murad al-Ayyubi al-Sindhi was born in a place near Hyderabad, Sindh, in around 1776. His family migrated to Arabia, and he benefited from the ulama of Hijaz and Yemen. He traveled to Egypt and finally settled in Medina and was awarded the title of Rais al-Ulama, head of the ulama, by Muhammad Ali Pasha. He died on 3rd of May in 1841 in Medina. He lived in Yemen, Egypt and Hijaz in the reigns of different Ottoman rulers like Sultan Abdul Hamid Awal, Sultan Salim Khan Al-Thalis, Sultan Mustafa Khan IV, and Sultan Mahmud Khan II, and Sultan Abdul Hamid Khan II. He was a genius scholar. Sheikh Abid was a genius scholar of Quran, Hadith and Fiqh. As he was a writer of Islamic sciences, he engaged himself in teaching and writing books throughout his life. Besides Tawali Anwar, he contributed many other great works, and most of these works are in the form of manuscripts, like Al-Mawahib al-Latifiyya ala Musnad al-Imam Abi Hanifa, that is manuscript in 1000 folios. Minhaj al-Bari fi Jam'i Riwayat al-Bukhari, that is manuscript in 486 folios. Mu'tamad al-Almi al-Almai ala Muhazzab fi Hal Musnad al-Imam al-Shafi'i al-Murattab, that is manuscript in more than 500 folios. And Tafsir Salasa I'jaz min Tafsir al-Bayzawi. And there are so many other books which he wrote, and most of these books are not published. However, Tawali Anwar is the Shara of Ad-Dur al-Mukhtar by Muhammad ibn Ali Alauddin al-Haskafi, while Ad-Dur al-Mukhtar is the commentary of Tanwir al-Absar. There have been several works on commentaries and marginal notes on Tanwir al-Absar, but the most famous among them is Ad-Dur al-Mukhtar. Similarly, Dur al-Mukhtar also was paid very much attention by the scholars of Hanafi school, and around 25 Arabic works of the commentary were produced. But the most famous and prevalent among the scholars is Rabb al-Mukhtar, that is known as Hashiyah ibn Abidin or Fatawa Shami. But Tawali Anwar is complete commentary of Ad-Dur al-Mukhtar, and it is not a Hashiyah like those of Al-Tahtawi and Ibn Abidin. It mentions vast evidence for the most of the fiqh rules mentioned in the Ad-Dur al-Mukhtar, and thus this book contains the most elaborate evidences of fiqh rules of Hanafi school. And being a great scholar of Hadith, the author has paid attention to mention the narrations for the Hadith of the most of the evidences, and making combination and removing apparent contradictions. Similarly, he made vast research on fiqh texts with additions that are not available in other books. In addition to this, he researched the differences of the scholars of the four schools in most of the fiqh issues. In this work, he has made references to many rare books of fiqh which were written in India, and moreover, he made linguistic and grammatical research according to the principles of fiqh, in describing evidences and achieving rules by it. One of the specialties of this book is that it is his one of the last works. Moreover, he taught it to his students till 8 years between 1827 and 1835. In fact, this masterpiece of Shaykh Asindi is an ocean of knowledge and full of pearls. It's precious hidden treasure which should be presented to the world, though it requires a strenuous hard work because it contains rare researches and precious opinions and useful additions. The later scholars of Hanafi fiqh who chanced to benefit from Tawal Anwar is Shaykh Abdul Qadir al-Rifai, the author of Taqrirat al-Rafi'i, footnote on Hashia of Ibn Abidi. This work of Tawal Anwar is still not published, as I said, and is preserved in several libraries of the world. The complete copy of the work is available in the library of Al-Azhar in Cairo. That was donated by Shaykh Abdul Qadir al-Rifai, the author of Taqrirat al-Rafi'i. It consists of 9,522 folios that distributed in 16 volumes. Another complete copy of the manuscript is available in Topkapi Palace in Turkey, which consists of 8 huge volumes. There are other copies of this book in Makkah and Medina and in Maulana Azad Arabic and Persian Research Institute of Tom in Rajasthan, India. Summarily, the period of Mughal rule in India had a very rich history pertaining to the Islamic faith, and it produced great scholars and contributed to the literature of repute. However, it's a matter of pride for India that the scholars of India during the periods of Delhi Sultanate and the Mughal Empire had a large share in Islamic faith compared to scholars of other parts of the Islamic world. Here I conclude.
Thank you, Mohammedullah. This interesting overview of the Tatara collections in India and special focus on a more recent unknown book, which is thanks to him. We already had chance to know you. Thank you. Okay, is there any questions, comments, please? Where's the microphone?
Survey on the but one important person has been omitted, and that is Shaykh Abdul Haq Muhammad Dehlavi Rahmatullah. Actually, he was known as Muhammad Dehlavi, and his father was from Persia, and he brought this literature from Makkah al-Mukarramah, and he was disciple there for some time. He wrote one wonderful book at the time when the wish of Empıre was the law of the land, and the order of the Empıre was the constitution of the country. He wrote Nasir Muluk, guidelines for the Emperor Jahangir. It was related to the Islamic jurisprudence. For the first time in India, Shaykh Abdul Haq, originally he was from, he wrote this book to regulate the government, rather the law of the land according to Islamic Sharia, and it is still in India.
Actually, I covered only Fataba collections. That's why this one mentioned. And there are other books of Sheikh Muhammad Dehlavi, Fi Mazhab bin Rahman, very much important books. on Hanafi, which proves the Fiqhi rulings through hadith.
Yes.
Yes. I have one brief question. There is a reference to a number of authors of the Fatawa al-India, Fatawa al-Bidi, and there are some unreferenced claims of 500, 400 authors. And have you come across anything about those claims? And the second question was about the Tawad al-Waj. Is there any work in terms of publishing the manuscripts at this time?
Yes, but as I said, the Tawad al-Waj was not still published, but I have heard through some sources that in Pakistan is being edited, and we expect that it will come inshallah soon. Could you please
take over the session. So it's my session. Honestly, you can say it came up in all three, so I figured out.
So there are various reports of including up to 100s of Indian ulama participating in the making of the Fatawa al-Injili. Allah how many totally participated, but in terms of the works that have been written in Western literatures, the number is between 40 and 50. Maybe perhaps because those who have been specifically identified.
Thank you very much for both insightful papers. So my question to Mohammedullah, since both Tawali al-Anwar and Hashim ibn Abdin works on Nur al-Muqtar, so is there any link between two works? Can you elaborate the link between two authors, Ibn Abdin and Abid al-Sindi?
as I get to know.
The same question. Thank you very much for this detailed deliberation. Can we know the reason why this book, the Tawali al-Anwar, is ignored, while as you said, the Tawashami is only Hashia, and it is not Hashia, it is Sharah. So it should be given the more importance than the Tawashami. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. First question that Brother Najmuddin, he said, the link between Hashim Abidin and Tawali al-Anwar. As I came to know, actually both the authors lived at the same time. And Sheikh Abid al-Sindi died in 1841, and only some years ago Sheikh Abid ibn Abdin died. So there may be some possibility that Sheikh Abid al-Sindi was aware of the work of Shami, but I cannot say something with charity. Yes. And as what's the question? Oh, why the Tawali al-Anwar was ignored compared to Abidi? This I also cannot explain why this happened. Actually, this should not happen, at least in India, because the author was from India, and the work was produced in Medina, and the center of Islamic education and Muslims. So how it was ignored, I could not analyze it. But those who benefited from Tawali al-Anwar is most prominent among them is Sheikh Abdul Qadir Rafi, whom I mentioned, who wrote Taqrirat al-Muqtar, and he benefited from the book very much, and we can find references to Sheikh Abid Tawali al-Anwar in every page of his book. Likewise, the other work by Sheikh Alauddin, who was the son of Sheikh ibn Abdi, he also benefited from this book very much.
Okay. The last.
Okay, I think that my question is related to the earlier question. Did Abida Sindi have students who worked on Qawaid al-Anwar, produced mukhtasars? And also, did you come across any scholars who are in conversation with Abida Sindi? So Abida Sindi relates to, other than the Hasan, of course, which scholars do you see in the text?
Summarize your
Is there any students who are with Sindhi who summarize the book or any dialogue between his contemporaries? Do you know anything about it? Okay. Thank you very much.